Hi, has anyone here not seen Inside Out 2 yet? Don't say you haven't, because Pixar's latest movie is being talked about as the top animated film of the year. The first film succeeded in many aspects, from its concept and storyline to its box office performance, so it's no surprise that fans have been eagerly awaiting the sequel to Inside Out for a long time. So when the second part was released, featuring Riley entering adolescence with new emotions emerging, fans had even more reason to be excited. However, any film that has its strengths will also have at least a few flaws. Today, Movie Honi will break down some of these minor flaws in Inside Out to give everyone a more comprehensive view of the film. Note that this isn't a content summary video. It's a video pointing out some drawbacks after watching Inside Out to multiple times. If you want to see a full, honest review of the movie, check out my channel, Movie Honi. But for now, let's go! It seems that in recent years, Pixar has started to branch its films into two directions. One consists of cute, easy to understand, and lovable movies for the whole family to enjoy together. The other includes films with deep existential reflections, layered with theoretical meanings, which can be watched and understood by young audiences but are truly appreciated by those who have experienced the ups and downs of life. And Inside Out 2 is such a film, even though its content revolves around Riley's journey through new adolescent emotions. However, Inside Out 2 is filled with mature reflections and emotions, making it not so easy for younger viewers to fully grasp. I'm not saying that younger viewers can't understand this film, because Inside Out 2 skillfully portrays the thoughts, feelings, and psychological changes of adolescence. However, if the audience is younger than this age group, the film might feel overwhelming in terms of content and primarily be appreciated for its visual appeal. Therefore, while this is a great and touching film, we must acknowledge that Inside Out 2 is not necessarily suitable for all ages. One of the earliest weaknesses of Pixar's latest film is that the first act is too rushed. The purpose of the initial act is to introduce the characters and set the film's objectives. Of course, the film does help us get acquainted with the new emotions: anxiety, envy, embarrassment, and ennui, as well as Riley's predicament of having to leave her friends. However, the appearance and interactions of these emotions feel overly hurried and somewhat unrealistic when compared to real-life contexts. We all know that the process of growing up and going through adolescence is a lengthy one, with the characters' thoughts, feelings, and emotions evolving over time, rather than changing overnight as depicted in the film. Thus, the sudden introduction of the four new emotions and signs of maturity in such a short time pushes the audience's experience, making the beginning of the film feel rushed and cramped, as if it's trying to meet a KPI. If possible, we believe that introducing the new emotions earlier, with less dramatic situations and a longer first act, would make the film feel more natural and easier to watch. This approach would especially help the audience connect with the four new characters, allowing them to interact more with each other and with the existing emotions, fostering empathy and affection. This way, when the new emotions clash with the old ones, the audience would be more surprised and accepting of the characters' decisions. The lack of character foundation results in a noticeable imbalance in the audience's feelings of dislike and empathy towards the characters, which is unfortunate, and here's why. It's clear that in this story of emotional colors, the obvious antagonist is anxiety, a new emotion representing maturity. Anxiety is depicted as a character causing Riley to change for the worse, leading her to make decisions that contradict her former self, sometimes to extreme extents. However, if we look closer, we can see that anxiety should not be seen as entirely unlikable. Before going overboard, anxiety is a highly realistic character. Just like joy, a positive emotion that can turn negative if too domineering, anxiety, a negative emotion, can be positive when experienced in moderation. However, the duration and storyline created for anxiety somewhat cast this character as a selfish villain who considers itself the most important emotion. So by the end of the film, when anxiety has moments, that genuinely bring viewers to tears, the audience may still find it challenging to shift from initially rejecting the character to feeling empathy and affection for anxiety. This transition feels rather abrupt and somewhat forced. It's a shame because the filmmakers intended for viewers to appreciate anxiety just as we do joy, showing that the worries and fears in growing up are as important and deserving of attention as the toxic positive experiences of our youth. Despite their different approaches, both joy and anxiety care for Riley like to parents wanting to protect their child through the journey of growing up. Unfortunately, the filmmakers didn't quite succeed in conveying this message effectively. Earlier, we discussed the rapid character introduction and provided an analysis of anxiety. It's not surprising that this allocation impacted the screen time for other characters to shine. In the movie, there's a clear dichotomy between joy and anxiety. When other emotions are given slightly more focus, whether supporting joy or criticizing anxiety, it adds depth to these characters. However, these secondary characters still have very limited screen time. So while the film has two main emotional pillars, joy and anxiety, the rushed introduction and narrative focus on anxiety's role mean other emotions have minimal roles, lacking substantial development and content. Because joy and anxiety drive the storyline and provide the film with its charming moments, the other emotions are unfortunately left underdeveloped, wasting much of their potential. Characters initially set up as crucial, like sadness and envy, who could have been key allies to joy and anxiety, end up contributing very little to the main story. Can anyone who has seen the movie tell me what Inui's role in the story is? Anyone? The underutilization of these characters is highlighted by dramatic situations that are glossed over. For example, at the beginning of the film, the control panel is being recalibrated, causing the emotions to struggle and leaving Riley to deal with her issues alone. Yet this detail completely disappears as the movie progresses, or why the new emotions fully understand how the control center works and seamlessly take over. Additionally, Riley's process of building self-awareness is inconsistently portrayed throughout the film. These small details might initially seem trivial and easy to overlook because the overarching story is still compelling. However, for more meticulous viewers like me, these small inconsistencies add up. Combined with the previously mentioned issues, they leave me somewhat dissatisfied with my overall experience of Inside Out 2. I agree that if the film weren't confined to the typical 90-minute runtime, aimed at providing more showtimes and catering to younger audiences, and if the filmmakers had extended the runtime and balanced the content better, these details might not have been forgotten. The story, which feels crammed, could have been more relaxed and complete. But nothing is perfect, right? Of course, noting these flaws only takes the film from being perfect to an exceptionally memorable and remarkable experience. These issues don't significantly diminish Inside Out 2. It remains a fantastic sequel to the original film. It's just that when the film elevates all the strengths of the first part, the inherent flaws also become more apparent. Inside Out 2 has an incredible concept and meaning, but the filmmakers stumbled a bit in trying to fit it into a 90-minute runtime. This duration was simply not enough for the immense potential of Inside Out 2. In short, the movie is too short. I wanted more. Haha! Inside Out 2 is a wonderful film. If you haven't seen it yet, go to the theater and enjoy it. Do you agree with our views? Leave your comments below so we can discuss further. For now, goodbye and see you in the next video.